Oh, who's the fan? This is. I never got the leash before.
Oh.
Oh, shit. They're like, you thought he wasn't big?
He's gonna
We're
be
gonna
big.
show you how big he can be. You know what's also amazing, guys, is all you folks out there who last time and throughout the past couple months have bought yourself some Reject Nation apparel, including, of course, the Fantastic Four Richards Road shirt here.
Right.
And then, you know, we got the Daredevil Hallway Hazard. We got the Spider Club. Each one is a great way to help support the channel, especially because we are getting copyright claim through the roof. So thank you. And Aaron, thanks for composing all of these shirts, man.
Oh,
it's
thank
such a
you.
great job.
Marvelous trifecta here.
Would not be possible without our artists. So go support them. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Felipe. Thank you, Sammy.
Speaking of artists, art has been adapted. Aaron, I'll go to you first, man. How you feeling about this trailer, buddy?
I feel great. I feel really good. The first trailer got me excited, but this one really gave me a sense of the scope and how much in peril they're going to be. I think the fact that, you know, they are these people that are posed as the sole saviors of this world and now being in a position where we may not be able to save our world, and how disappointing people can be given that they're both hero and celebrity. I think that's going to be really interesting. I don't know if we've seen that particular thing before. And I think the way that they're still continuing to capture that 60s feel, even the way the Silver Surfer is designed, something about it feels kind of retro, even in the way that she moves and stuff. So I think that's very cool. Yeah, I think it really captures the heart of what this family is about, not only in its tone of the world, but also with the family. I was concerned about how Joseph Quinn would be as Johnny Storm, but he seems like he captures that pretty well enough for what this tone is. I liked Pedro Pascal in the moments we saw him. He was a lot of just looking back and forth, but I think he's going to kill it. And Sue Storm, she looks like she's going to be the heart of the family, and I like the fact that we are actually doing the pregnancy storyline. We're doing this thing where it's first steps into the MCU, first steps as parents, and I wonder how that's going to play into it.
Franklin's first steps.
Galactus's first steps.
Yeah.
First steps, exactly.
First steps.
And yeah, Galactus looks great, and yes, he's obviously bigger than a planet, but he can change sizes and whatnot. So I'm excited to see how that comes to fruition. But yeah, this got me more hyped than the first trailer did, which is the job of any good trailer. So yeah, I'm feeling good.
Let's face facts here, Coy. It's time for you to monologue, baby. It's time for you to take it away. It's time for you to do the whole video.
I'm a man of two minds. On one side, I really love they're going Alex Ross, and it's very inspired by Alex Ross. This feels like the Marvels. This feels like the covers Alex Ross paints. This feels like that era that he captures so well. But in that era is this grandiose stoicism. And Greg's talked about this quite a bit, and I completely agree that it is an interesting choice to make something like this stoic, and it feels almost reactionary to the greater MCU. I feel like the Marvel Universe right now is in a course correction, and while they're course correcting, I feel like they were like, well, people say we do too much comedy. How about we do the most serious film you've ever seen? And it's really interesting to see Marvel's first family, which are adventurers, which are swashbucklers, where are this great scientifically minded team. And I get how you can lean into the science, and I get how you can lean into that tone, and I think that element is wonderful. But even the comedy feels stiff. Like, to me, the Human Torch jokes were like, okay. And like that's concerning because the usual levity is like, you know, Reed is hard to deal with, and then you know, Ben Grimm is navigating all this trauma, but he's finding ways to, like, you know, get through it, and then Johnny is like the punchline to kind of like, and then Sue is trying to just keep the family together. Like, those dynamics are really hard when everyone feels stoic, and that could just be the presentation of the trailer. This is establishing a different tone, and Marvel's in a really tricky spot because it's 18 years in next year. Like, they have an adult child of run, and now you have to find new ways to reinvent the wheel. This is a new team. How do you make them feel different in celebrity? How do you make this world feel different? So it makes sense in the marketing to aggressively pivot into this beautiful Alex Ross tone, into this really, like, regal, like, you know, looking up and grandeur and all that stuff. That absolutely works tonally for a trailer. My only concern is when we're watching the film, if that stoicism and that feeling of rigidness and that almost frigidness on top of rigidness becomes something that makes it feel stiff. And that would be what would break Mr. Fantastic. It cannot feel stiff. So my concern is that the movie won't feel like the fun and whimsy and weird of Kirby, and instead it'll feel like the rigidity of talking to someone that was alive in the 60s that's mansplaining comics to you. Because that, to me, is the vibes, and I'm not sure yet if I feel like this puts me a little bit more worried about that element. The movie looks beautiful. The absolute scope of seeing Galactus warms my comic heart. Obviously, I'm very excited, but there are elements that I'm like, oh, those things I was worried about, I'm not less worried about, but it could just be the marketing use as opposed to the movie, but we don't know yet.
And Galactus, why does he have boobs?
You know,
What's happening there?
That's
Did Galactus have
he made a
boobs?
choice.
Galactus had a lot of boobs.
Tons, 8.
18
I didn't
boobs.
understand
The
what's
cats.
happening there.
That's easy to attack him.
Yeah.
Why does no one
Galactus
have
mouth.
boobs?
There it is. Yeah, Silver Surfer. I assume we're gonna do the thing where it's showing the multiverse and the Fantastic Four interacting with her, and then they get put in our universe and we meet Norrin. But like, I think she's gonna be the marker, like the canary in the coal mine, right?
Yeah.
Like she's the thing that makes us realize. But she kind of looks like the Rise of Silver Surfer to me.
I thought this whole trailer was like, oh, the remake of Rise of Silver Surfer.
But like,
It's Galactus and Silver Surfer. What do you expect?
But like Galactus, obviously, we're not getting the cloud, thankfully.
Right, yeah.
But like, I just mean that the special effects on Silver Surfer, like, there's again, I'm of two minds. One side is like, what else would a Silver Surfer look like? And on the other side, I was like, 20 years later, CGI looks pretty similar on a Silver Surfer. So like, I am very conflicted on this trailer.
Interesting.
Yeah, here's what I'm wondering. Like what Coy and I talked about in the pod was a big part that we talked about was how positive we were about the comments that Vanessa Kirby had made,
Still him.
and how concerned we were about the comments that Joseph Quinn had made. And I'm wondering if some of that is playing in. And I already had like some of my little concerns that I got crap for from the first trailer. And this didn't really do something to alleviate that. However, there are things that the trailer did do that did elevate other aspects. You know, like I'm sure what I'm going to say is like my own version of things you both have already said. The world is really cool. I've been reading like Fantastic Four comics for the first time ever. And I don't even know how many I've read at this point, but it's a pretty good amount. And so it's pretty cool to see like this world coming to life. And I'm really happy with the whimsical sci-fi tone. I love how sci-fi alien all this is feeling. Like they go to space and they get some powers and they're loved and they're I don't know what commentary they'll be doing, but like they look human, so we accept you.
Right.
And then like Galactus comes and it's like, oh, threat, alien threat.
Silver Lady.
Surfer comes, threat, go, Human Torch, attack, you know? And it's interesting to see what they might be doing commentary-wise there, or if it's just, you know, sci-fi shit that they're pulling off, because they did have, like, two of the same beat in the trailer of Silver Surfer comes, they're looking up, all seriousness, what the hell, what do we do? And then Galactus comes, serious shot, looking up, what do we do? And I like, so it seems like it's dealing with the idea of like alien invasion threats and, you know, the commentary of that. The Thing, I every time I'm reading the Thing comics, he's very much, you know, woe is me, he hates his life, understandably so. I mean, come on, like it would suck to be the Thing. So I like how it's doing the inverse of that. He seems to get his joy from the reaction and response that people are giving to him. You know, like the whole moment with the kids, I thought was really cute. That was a very beautiful moment. I would have to meet you on the dinner table scene.
Yeah.
With the pregnancy, I was like, there's something about like,
And that's their pick. That's their pull for moment.
I'm wondering if like I'm wondering if it'll play like charmingly offbeat and quirky in the actual movie. Like that's the benefit of the doubt I want to give. But a lot of it, and even it did feel stiff, and a lot of it is back to like, why does everything seem so stoic in the personality dynamics with everyone? Weirdly, outside of the Thing, the Thing is the one character.
He's vibing, man.
The Thing is the one guy who actually seems to have like a bit of a sad looseness to him, like that kind of thing where you're so sad, but you don't want to like impart that sadness onto others. but you know they're sad underneath the rock hard surface that they have. You know, and so there's like personality dynamics